I'm Christy. Today I want to talk to you about a family road trip. So 3 weeks ago, we set out on a family adventure. Now, while we've taken family vacations via road trips before, this one was a first to us on several different levels. First of all, we left home and drove to Wyoming, or as AJ calls it, Wynoming, to get Sean settled into college. We were able to move him in 2 days early, which turned out to be a real blessing. By the time we said goodbye, he was unpacked, things were mostly put away in an organized fashion, and we'd only made 2 trips to Walmart for necessities. We were also able to spend some time with my in-laws, who drove Sean's new car up to him. They were giving him one of his old ones, or one of their old cars. We registered it and got everything squared away before we left. Now, while this was the instigation for the trip, it was also the hardest part for me personally. My mama heart still isn't ready to accept that my baby is in college. Now, he's ready. He's thriving. It's time. My head knows this and agrees with all of those statements. My heart's still not quite so sure. Then we moved on to Cheyenne, Wyoming for a couple days, trying to decide if we could live in a small town. Well, at least significantly smaller than where we are right now. That discussion continues and no final decision has been made yet. But we enjoyed our time there and we were quite impressed with all this small town offers. And if nothing else, it was nice to have a couple days to just chill and see the area. Then we headed across the border to Spearfish, South Dakota, where we looked at the Northern Hills Training Center. I've got a link to their website over on the blog. That's at www.havenofhopeforme.com. This originally posted in September of 2021. Now, I looked at their website before, after a friend told me about it. She also gave me the name and number of a friend of hers who had had family members that had lived there over the years. We were fortunate enough to be able to meet this new friend while we were there in person, which was really cool. Overall, we're very impressed with the center. It has a well-established reputation in its own right, as well as within the community. They offer a wide variety of services and just received recertification with a very high rating. Their reputation appears to be stellar. Now, we have several hurdles to overcome, like including getting that dreaded SSI before our application can move very far. But it's nice to know that this center is there and that it is indeed a possibility for AJ. Now, while we were there, we took a day to visit Mount Rushmore and the Crazy Horse Memorial, since they were only about an hour away. I've got pictures from the trip on the blog. Again, you can find that at www.havenofhopeforme.com. This is from September of 2021. Now, impressive doesn't begin to touch on these 2 monuments. The scenery is beautiful, the monuments themselves are memorable, and it was nice to be able to see more of our nation's treasures. I was quite impressed, especially with the Crazy Horse Memorial. I hadn't realized that it's not a national park or monument. Rather, it's privately funded. And they're doing a lot more than just creating the Crazy Horse Memorial in the mountain. I highly recommend the time, effort, and money it takes to check out this location if you're ever in the area. Now, our final stop took us to Cody, Wyoming for the night, and then to Yellowstone National Park. Now, we enjoyed Cody a lot. It's a cute little touristy town, but prices weren't jacked up to tourist prices. My husband said it was his favorite stop. Now, Yellowstone? I can't even begin to put into words how beautiful it is. We drove through it for several hours for a big chunk of the day, and didn't even begin to see all that it has to offer. It's that huge. Now, we did stop and see a herd of buffalo, which was quite impressive. Multiple lakes, including Yellowstone Lake, which is also huge, and a few waterfalls, and of course, Old Faithful. We decided that you need at least a week to even begin to try and see everything it has there. And my husband, who loves camping, thinks that a week a year would be a great option. Now, I'm not sure I'm quite up to that much camping, but there is definitely enough to see and then re-see your favorite spots to warrant multiple trips. I think we're all looking forward to returning and bringing Sean with us next time. So overall, this was a 12-day whirlwind trip. Now, it really was a good trip, though. It provided a lot of insights and answers that we had floating around our minds. And we were able to see a number of different national parks and with beautiful sights and scenery. We were able to rest, relax, and just get a break from our everyday life. Now, while I'm glad to be home, I'd repeat this trip in a heartbeat. Well, I might think twice about having to relive saying goodbye to Sean again for that first time, but seeing him thrive instantly in that college setting was encouraging and a salve to this mama's heart. Having been home for a week and trying to get back into my pre-COVID routine, I still feel like I'm about a year behind. Now, since I've been out of this routine for like a year and a half, I'd say that's to be expected. I'm slowly getting back on top of things and figuring out a new version of this routine that now includes regular trips to the gym. Now, if I miss a week or two in the near future, bear with me as I work out this new schedule. So, how does all of this apply to you? I see several ways that this can apply to your lives, at least potentially. First, it gives you another glimpse into our family life. We all take vacations together, and sometimes we roll those trips into something more purposeful, like taking your son to college for the first time. Secondly, it shows that I'm following through with things I've said I needed to do. We checked out a living community for AJ, and we discovered that in the right setting or living community, I think AJ really could thrive with the independence that he longs for. Thirdly, I hope that this gives you some ideas on how to incorporate various aspects of family life into your life with special needs. We've had several aspects on this trip that we weren't sure how AJ was going to respond, and yet he completed every part of the trip with his bravery and his usual, tell me what to expect and it's no big deal attitude. Finally, remember that sometimes you just need to rest and relax, get away, recharge. And while you may need a day or two vacation to recover from your vacation, it's always worth it. Take the time to take care of yourself in the middle of taking care of your family. Everyone wins when we stay healthy and take time to recharge. So my question for you this week is this. Did you take any memorable trips this summer? How did your loved one with special needs handle that trip? I'd love to hear your thoughts. You can leave me a comment below. You can leave me a comment over on the blog. Again, that's at www.havenofhopeforme.com. This is from September of 2021. Or, if you prefer, you can always email me at Christy, CHRISTY, at havenofhopeforme.com. I'm grateful to see the boys thriving in their own environments so that I can continue to say that life is good and there is never a dull moment.